Okay. All right, and we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Hi, my name is Mr. Ray. Welcome to the Stakin podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Joseph and Costa from Swift Protocol. These guys say that they will bring e-commerce to the masses. I'm very intrigued on how they're gonna do that. So let's get to meet them right here, right now. How you feeling, guys? Thanks for joining.
No problem. Thank you for having us. We're feeling pretty good.
Friends. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so let's just start from the beginning, right? I bet you get this question a lot. Well, if you had gone to other podcasts, maybe yes, maybe not. But let's get it right. Let's get it out of the way. Uh, Briefly introduce yourself. What is your background and how you found this crypto stuff and this Cosmos ecosystem stuff? Let me know your story. Maybe you can start, Joseph, and then you, Cost, if that's
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, for sure. So for the past couple of years, I've been working as a freelance web developer, building websites, all of that kind of stuff. And recently, last year, I was brought onto the Stargaze team as a front-end engineer. And that's kind of what got me into Cosmos and kind of like what introduced me to the ecosystem. And now, I've built a bunch of things in the space. I've worked on Pegasus, which is NFT trading platform of Stargaze. I've worked on Equilibrium, which is a cross-chain ETF platform on Juno and Osmosis. And now, for the past couple of months, Cost and I have been working on Swift, and we're kind of at the stage now where we're starting to build in public, and just letting everyone know what we're doing.
Awesome, dude.
So
The stage is yours, sir.
yeah. I met Joseph in school, in college, and we're both studying computer sciences. And after that, like probably I think it was the beginning of 2022, I had this idea with having like a marketplace where you can buy and sell physical goods for services. And because I grew up like doing flipping on the side with eBay and Facebook Marketplace, like buying and reselling items. And then I got into e-commerce. And then when I introduced Joseph to the idea, we are trying to find like a proper home for, I guess, Swift. And then he landed on Cosmos ecosystem, and we did a brainstorming and a lot of research for that. And then started developing in May of 2022. And then, the last couple months have been fun. We went to Cosmoverse in Colombia in October, competed in the hackathon, helped build Equilibrium, as Joseph said. And yeah, it's just been a fun journey, I guess.
Awesome, dude. And I also went to Cosmoverse, and it was a really good experience, in my opinion. If I'm not mistaken, after the Cosmoverse, there was this hack Wasm. I believe you participated in that. Can you share a little on that experience?
I mean, so Joseph and I and a couple other members from the Equilibrium team, we competed, and we ended up coming first place. Yeah, first place.
Awesome. And what did you did for that? I mean, I'm no dev. I know nothing about code. So what you do in this kind of I don't know activities? Let's say, what did you do to get the first place?
Oh, well, it's a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of long hours of brainstorming and then trying to separate the work on who's going to do what. And we land on 2 people working on the front end and 3 people working on the back end and developing the smart contracts. Joseph, if you want to get more technical, you can explain that.
Yeah, sure. Let's get into it. So
Let's go.
we came into the hackathon with Maurits, who I worked with him on Pegasus, and we wanted to build we wanted to front run noise protocol. We wanted to build randomness on secret network, and the idea we figured out that it was a bad idea. So like a couple hours into the hackathon, we kind of came up. Howard from the abstract team came up with the idea of building like cross-chain ETFs, and that's kind of what we landed on. And we just spent the next 48 hours, and I really mean the next 48 hours because we got very, very low amounts of sleep. And I'm very guilty of this. I might have been the guy who slept the most kind of overslept in the middle of the hackathon, and Costa kind of had to come running to our Airbnb to try and wake me up because I wasn't answering any calls. And yeah, I mean, it was an experience for sure. Uh, we worked on like a bunch of stuff. We kind of dabbled into everything, right? IBC. We worked with like some osmosis stuff. And we built a front end. Had some great conversations as well with other people at the hackathon. I mean, it was definitely a once in a lifetime experience. I'm looking forward to 2023 Hackwasm, right? Let's see if we can win it again.
Two-time
Totally.
winners. That would be sick.
Totally. That sounds really fun, in my opinion. Thanks for sharing that, guys. Now, moving on, let's go to the topic, right? What we're here for. I don't know who of you, I believe you, Costa, because you've been doing the business developing side of Swift, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Maybe you can walk us through on what is Swift about, right?
Okay. So Swift Protocol offers real people, to buy and sell physical goods for cryptocurrency. We're providing like an alternative to the traditional e-commerce platforms, like the centralized ones, and we just want to put, I guess, control back into the merchants' hands rather than, I mean, it's better for them as a profit. So the merchants basically can create their own e-commerce store and sell any type of physical goods that they want. And we're focused right now on merchandise, getting influencers or platforms who have their own merch to sell it on the platform and just create this new atmosphere of bartering, trading, and like this economy, I guess.
Okay, so basically a decentralized
E-commerce
Shopify.
platform. Yes.
Right. Well, I said Shopify, right? But don't want to give them the promotion, right? I want to give
Yeah.
you the promotion, right? So why? I mean, why this? Why Swift? I understand it's important to have like a decentralized crypto tool that people can put up their stores and sell
Hmm.
in there. But I want you to go a little deeper on that.
Okay.
Why people should go ahead and take a look at Swift protocol? What is the benefit of crypto or
Yeah.
being decentralized, for
Yeah,
example?
I'd love to take this one, Costa.
Yeah.
So essentially, the reason why I think a lot of people might be interested in using Swift protocol to handle like crypto transactions is not just like replacing your current infrastructure with Swift protocol, but also maybe integrating Swift protocol into your Shopify infrastructure. That's kind of what we're offering, right? So it doesn't have to be like a huge step that sellers have to take to kind of like start selling stuff with crypto and starting to kind of like transition towards more decentralized tech. One of the main reasons is just fees, right?
Yeah.
Shopify charges a lot of seller fees, and we're actually able to charge basically nothing, a very, very small amount of fees because we have no infrastructure to maintain. We don't host the websites. We don't even like host anything, right? Not even images. Everything is decentralized. You've got things like IPFS for hosting images and video. You've got Cache for or any other hosting provider for hosting your e-commerce site. All we provide is code, essentially, and all of these services kind of like tie together to give sellers a very, very unified experience, even though we technically don't handle anything, which gives us an immense advantage when it comes to our cost to operate.
Yeah.
Uh, we don't run on our own chain. We don't run any of our hosting services. We don't run anything. Everything is essentially controlled by third-party hosting providers. So we really, I don't know how to say this. We don't need any money to operate. So we're able to charge very, very low transaction fees. And a part of those transaction fees actually go to validators who participate in the network and essentially handle disputes between buyers and sellers in situations where, let's say, a package might have arrived damaged or the item did not match its description. Then the network is able to handle that and incentivize validators to handle these kinds of situations without charging egregious seller fees. So sellers make more money selling the same product on Swift than they do selling it on Shopify. And they
Yeah.
get the exact same amount of advanced seller tooling that Shopify has.
Also, to add on to Joseph about lower transaction costs, by removing, so as a, if you're a regular centralized e-commerce platform and someone were to pay with a credit card, you're losing on 3% of potential profit. So Swift Protocol essentially removes the middleman and creates more profit for smaller businesses to grow, and just using that opportunity for them, it just helps out everyone. I think it's a win-win by just focusing strictly on peer and peer.
Got it. Well, you know what? I love when we can get the middleman out of the equation anytime. So thank you for bringing that up. And real quickly, for those that maybe are not aware, could you explain what is e-commerce?
E-commerce is having an electronic marketplace, so an online website. Like if you ever shopped on your favorite store that you buy online, or Etsy, there's any types of e-commerce where you can sell gadgets or clothes, anything that you can really buy online.
Yeah, that's it. I wouldn't add more. And
Yeah,
I'm curious. I on Cosmoverse, for example, there were lots of booth with t-shirts.
yeah.
We gave away a few of the Stakin t-shirts. I got a t-shirt from Juno, from Ashway, and many other protocols, right? Let's
Hmm.
say I'm inspired for that and to I want to open my own e-commerce store where I can sell t-shirts with funny messages, right? Like GM, holding till I'm dead, right? I'm just saying random stuff now. Can you walk me through that process? I mean, I know that the application is not live yet. We're gonna get into that in a second, or maybe if you wanna say when are you planning to launch, you can do that, right?
Yeah,
But after you launch, how how me as someone that is going to open up a store, how is that how is that process gonna look like?
yeah.
If I'm making sense to you.
Yeah, sure. I'd love
I'll
to.
let Joseph
Yeah.
answer this. I want to add something right before that. We tried making Swift, like the UI, the front end, as even the using it as simple as possible. Using Shopify and eBay, there's a lot of complexity, like where it doesn't it feels hard to use, even though with this, I mean, Joseph's going to explain to you the process, how simple it is, and the benefits that can come with it. Yeah, go ahead, Joseph. Just
Yeah.
wanted to
Got
bring
it.
that down.
So you have T-shirts, you have some designs, and you want to bring them to life. You want to sell them on Swift Protocol. It's very, very simple. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to visit swiftprotocol.zone, and that's basically the hardest part. Uh, in putting that into your browser, all you're going to have to do is connect your wallet, and you're going to be able to create a new storefront in seconds. So give it a name, maybe choose some colors, some images, your logos. That's basically it. Now you just submit that data to our system, and you just deploy your site. So we actually have a system that we're calling one-click Akash deployments. And essentially, in only one click,
Excuse me. So you said one click a cache deployment.
yeah, one-click
All
Akash
right.
deployments.
Expand on that, please.
Yes, for sure. Now, this is something that I'm working on right now, and I think it's going to make a lot of people happy. We are using interchain accounts to create accounts for people on Akash, swap Swift tokens for AKT, create a new lease, deploy a new e-commerce site on Akash, and then continually pay for the lease over time. So in one click, you'll be able to deploy your store and have a URL that you can use to link to your site. And if you buy like a web domain, like on Namecheap or whatever, let's say michaeltshirts.com, then in Namecheap's configuration, you'll just be able to input like the name server data, and you'll have your domain, and your site's going to be deployed in less than a minute.
Wow, man, that sounds amazing, in my opinion. I love Akash. Well, maybe you can't see it, but I have a Akash logo face here. But yeah, you can't see it. I love Akash, and it's great that these new protocols want to leverage the features already available the on the ecosystem. So you said that you're using interchain account for that. Wow, really cool, really cool.
Yep.
let,
So
let,
this
me,
is
let me
actually
process this.
a feature
If you want
of
to
the new
keep expanding
Akash
on that
mainnet.
while I process this,
Yeah,
right?
Akash mainnet 5 is very, very cool. And it allows us to do this kind of stuff. So it's very, very novel tech that's available on Akash, and we're just taking a complete advantage of it.
Awesome, man. That's what's up. That's what I like to see. I really would like to see more projects actually leveraging with each other here in the ecosystem, right? It's great that we can all have like our sovereign independent chains, right? But I believe
Yeah,
it's gonna be way better if we leverage each other's, I don't know, strong points, benefits,
100%.
yeah, we're all
right?
100%.
part of the
Because,
IBC gang.
yeah.
Exactly. No game like the RBC gang, right? That's what I say. So you mentioned about the Swift token. I wasn't aware that you were gonna launch with a token. Can you briefly go over that?
Yeah, so we're launching with CW20 token on Juno that is going to be directly available on Juno Swap. We haven't started talks with Osmosis yet, but there are other CW20 tokens on Osmosis, so it's definitely something that can be done. If anything, we'll be on Osmosis Frontier, most likely. So the Swift token, right, it's the native token that's going to be used for making purchases on Swift. We decided that we wanted to go with our own token, just to have better control over monetary policy. I think Juno, like the Juno token itself, does not necessarily align with the things we're doing. I mean, for an e-commerce platform, you need something that's going to be a lot more stable, with kind of monetary policy that aligns better with e-commerce. And by the way, when it comes to stability, and I'll talk about this more when I talk about like adding a new product to your store, but we actually are going to be using a price oracle to allow people to set prices in dollars, and then the price in Swift will fluctuate based on the value of Swift versus the dollar. So the idea here is like if you have suppliers or manufacturers that require payments in dollars, then you need to be able to always fulfill those suppliers'
Payments. Yeah.
prices without ever, compromising your bottom line.
Awesome. People will appreciate that. Uh, yes, we know that cryptocurrencies are very volatile. So
Mhm.
I guess having something like that in your platform will be a nice touch, in my opinion. Thanks for sharing, man. Really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And we were talking about this earlier as well, which is just how easy it is to create a site. Like after a minute, you already have something deployed on Akash, and it'll take you another minute to deploy product. Grab a couple pictures of your favorite T-shirt, give it a name, give it a description, and if you need to, you can also set up jurisdiction-related things like taxes or shipping information. And that's about it. All you have to do now is submit a transaction, and your product is live. It's
Yeah.
that easy. And when it comes to setting a price, not only can you set a price in Swift or a price in dollars that then gets implemented in Swift, you can also set a minimum price in dollars and a fluctuating price in Swift. So if you know that you need at least $22 to fulfill the order, then you can say it needs to be at least $22 plus this amount of Swift, and Swift being a token that has a fluctuating value, which means that a part of your price can be non-fluctuating and another can be.
Real quickly, this Swift token, uh, is it gonna be pegged to Juno? From where it's gonna derive its value?
It's not going to be pegged to anything. It's just going to be like another token.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Okay.
liquidity pools and all of that stuff. But we have a strategic reserve. We're going to be working to make this token as stable as possible. Another part of kind of like making this token as stable as possible, right, is our trust score system, which incentivizes people to stake as much as possible of the token to get kind of like a small boost to their trust score.
I was about to ask you about this trust score. If you can expand more on how it works and how you
Mhm.
come up with this idea.
So,
Yep.
yeah, how it works, it's basically like certain attributes we have, or like how much stake tokens you have, the transactions you have, and how many good ad reviews you have, and all within all those, we you get a number on from between 0 to 1,500, and that shows like how credible you are within the system. We base the whole idea off chess. I like playing chess, and it's called an elo score, and it's like when the points go up and down depending if you win a move or how fast you do it. Certain like little attributes like that that benefit you as the player. We're trying to base that in e-commerce and as user and buyer and seller.
Yeah,
Awesome, man.
absolutely. And this is actually something that's already built. It already
Yeah.
exists, and it works very, very well. Uh, Essentially, every time you complete a sale, you're compelled to leave a text review as well as a thumbs up or a thumbs down to whoever you've interacted with. So the seller gets to leave a review to the buyer, and the buyer gets to leave a review to the seller. And these reviews, as well as how many transactions you've completed and how many tokens you've staked and how long you've been staking them for, help determine your score. And then, for example, sellers can decide not to sell to people under a specific score so that they can make sure that they're only interacting with people that are necessarily trustworthy and that won't necessarily, will, for example, create fake disputes or attempt to scam them in general. And this also fixes the issue of fake reviews,
I was just
where you
wondering.
can
Yeah.
really only just leave a review once you've completed a purchase. And it's very, very easy to spot botted or engineered kind of like reviews because of blockchain, right? So every single thing that happens on chain is visible in the public transaction ledger, which means that it's very, very easy to spot when someone has been attempting to game the system and create fake reviews.
Okay. Oh, guys, this flu is killing me, but I'm enjoying this conversation a lot. Uh, Thanks for taking the time and explaining in this amount of detail. I'm pretty sure that maybe there are still some things that you will need to figure it out, but it's okay if
Yeah.
you do that along the way, right? Um, have you raised money for this project, guys, or are you in the plans of raising money for this project?
We are raising right now.
Yeah, we're raising at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, we are running our first series of seed funding. We're hoping to close up the fund by the end of the year. So right now we're talking to VCs, talking to investors, and yeah, I mean it's a great time talking to investors, right? They always have very, very good insight and just great suggestions as well. I mean, just talking to like experts in the industry and talking to all of these investors, we've been able to also just adjust what we're doing, right? Just make it work better. So it's definitely a great experience.
All right, that's good to hear, and I'm glad that we get onto this topic because it's no secret the times we are living in the market right now, right?
Yeah.
I won't say thin is ugly, but yeah, not everybody's having a good time as we did maybe on 2021 or maybe the end of 2020. So around this time, you talking with investors, what is their sentiment in regards to the market right now? How do they feel, and also how you feel about the market right now?
I think investors remain confident in the
Yeah.
market that we're in right now. There's bears, there's bulls. It's something that happens, I think, and we've seen historically that the market will always bounce back in some way or another, right? And we're right now we're just aligning ourselves to launch and to already have a working product by the next bull run, right? So we're gonna be there and we're gonna be a player when it comes to the next like moment where crypto is gonna go big. And
It was extremely crucial to build within the bear market. We saw this as an opportunity where it's like, okay, we don't know when it's coming. We can predict it, like, it could be in 8, 12, 16 months. And I hope, the longer it is, the better, because then it's more developed, how more developed Swift is. But, time will tell.
Yeah, totally. Bears is for builders, and it's better, like you say, cost. It's better to be building now and be
Yeah.
prepared when whatever happens, when the bull run comes back on, right?
Mhm.
Than I don't know, maybe lay back now and wait for the bull run to start,
Yeah.
and then you can
Yeah.
start building. I mean that just doesn't work.
yeah, we don't have to deal with any of the bull run things like hype and all of these. I don't want to say it, but like very
There's
misinformed
just less
people.
less noise.
Less
Let's say that
Yeah.
noise.
it's
And
less
we get to
noise.
It's
deal
true,
with it.
though.
Absolutely.
Bear markets, I mean, like going to like networking events, I find it better because you're with people who want, I guess, take it seriously. And during a bull run, I mean, you have a lot of the crypto bros people who are, as Joseph said, misinformed about everything about the community. They don't even know what they're really talking about. So it's a refresher being in a bear market. You got to see the upside on every situation.
The crypto bros.
Crypto bros. Yeah.
Still, we love them. We love the crypto bros, the
Oh,
crypto
100%.
sisters, the degens, the regions, all of them. I mean, this is a crazy market, but I'm just so happy, man, that we can get these kind of interactions.
Yeah.
I do believe that we're building the future here, and that just makes me so happy.
Yep.
Guys, I'm about to wrap it up. This conversation has been amazing for me so far. I hope you're feeling the same. This is maybe a weird question, depending on how you get it. But what kind of support would you like to receive from the ecosystem right now or during your building process?
I mean, a bunch of validators for sure. Validator support. More validators, more decentralized Swift would be. Um, yeah, if you just want to sell something, if you're this, I feel brings in. We have a community of developers. Now it's time to bring in a community of, I guess, entrepreneurial thinkers, people who are willing to buy and sell physical items with crypto and just support that niche. And as a small business owner, migrating over to Swift, I mean, just benefits your business. Even though it's smaller profits, multiply that over a lot of transactions, X amount of transactions, your business can survive.
Yeah, absolutely. And we offer a bunch of tools as well just for partial
Yeah.
migration, right? We have Buy with Swift, which is a tool that we're building, an integration on Shopify for people to handle their transactions through Swift uh, while maintaining their store on Shopify. So think of it like an Apple Pay type of solution. People can go ahead and buy with crypto, even though they're still running on Shopify. And not to throw shade, but Shopify also have their like crypto integration that heavily relies on CXs and only supports Bitcoin and Ethereum. You need to deal with CXs and all of that stuff when you're on Shopify. And I mean, our system is not to brag too much, but it's 100 times better.
Quick
It's more
question:
decentralized.
what's a
Yeah.
CX? I'm sorry.
A CEX, centralized exchange.
Okay. You mean sex, right? All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You can say sex
Yeah.
in the podcast. Don't worry.
I said no. CEX is the more correct way of saying it, but
CEX.
yeah, centralized
Yeah,
exchange. Yeah.
I wasn't getting it. I thought you were saying C and X, right?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, and all of this ties together, right, with the stuff we're building, and it's completely like decentralized, anonymized. When you buy something on Swift Protocol, you have to provide your shipping address, right? But it actually never gets associated with your crypto address. The seller actually only sees where they need to ship it to, not who made the purchase. Which means that we're using all of these protocols, right, to support encryption and uh, anonymity. So
yeah.
your shipping address is never associated with your crypto address. Your email and phone number that we use for notifications actually never get associated with your address. So we call this service and we say, oh, we need to send a notification to this address, this crypto address. A notification will get sent to your email, but we actually never have that association between email and address. Same for shipping addresses. We never actually have an association in our system or on the chain between 123 Sesame Street, your address, and your Juno address. So it never lives on chain. No one's getting doxxed. Even though everything is on the public ledger, there's never an actual record of where everything has been shipped.
Awesome, man. I believe you touched on a very important point, which is privacy as well, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And wow, it's good to know that. And how does that work? I mean, how you're able to make sure that you're shipping the right stuff, or maybe notifying the right person if nothing is ever related,
Yeah, so we're
or
using
maybe
a service
link, right?
called Selfguard, and we're working with them very, very closely to not only because they're active on Ethereum right now, and we're helping them integrate on Cosmos, and we're going to be using their services to do this. They just have data on one side, we have data on on the other side. There's never any link between both sides, which means that there's no way to determine whether this email address belongs to this address. But we do know that we can send an email to this address. We can check if they are signed up for notifications. And it's the same process
Got
for
it.
shipping addresses.
Yeah.
Really cool, man. Thank you for taking care of that. That's some forward thinking right there, in my opinion. So, guys, I'm done with the questions, but let me do this for the podcast, right? Because if you know, you know, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like we know. So, is there something that maybe we didn't talk about, but you should mention now, and that the people should be aware about, or anything that you want to share before we go?
Um, I mean, I don't. Joseph, anything? Do you have any
I think
surprising
real
news?
quick, a concern that we've been getting is there a possibility for someone to create Silk Road 2.0 using Swift
Yeah.
protocol? I want to address that real quick. We don't actually provide any of the infrastructure. We don't provide any of the hosting services, and we most definitely do not provide. We actually do not charge transaction fees to sites that have not been verified by the community. Which means that if someone were to create a Silk Road 2.0 drug marketplace using Swift protocol, we would not be responsible, and most importantly, we would not. It would not be promoted by Swift protocol. They will be using our open source code. That's not something we can prevent, unfortunately, but it is not something that we can promote. It's not something that uh, like people will be able to query off of Swift protocol services,
Yeah.
right? So it's not our responsibility, and we definitely will not be involved in any of that stuff, right? We're just building the tooling. What people do with it, unfortunately, we cannot be held responsible for. And from a legal aspect as well, if I go on Twitter and I say that I'm going to murder a specific political figure, then I cannot be like then Twitter cannot be considered responsible for what I said on their platform.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I just wanted to address that.
And it's a tool. Thank you for addressing that. I believe
Absolutely.
it's a nice, valid concern, and we don't want to have another SIG 2. However, this is a
Yeah.
tool. People will use it as they better see it fit, right? So it's good to have the tool. Now, what people do with the tool, there's no way to control that. Uh, I guess that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's unfortunate, but it's unfortunately not something we can prevent. Anyone can go and download. Anyone can use JavaScript to create a drug marketplace. It amounts to using Swift protocols tooling to creating a drug marketplace. It's not something we want to promote. It's not something we want to allow on the promotional side of our platform, where we're going to be featuring a lot of sellers. But it is something that can happen, and fortunately, it's not something that we will be legally liable for.
All right, I was muted. Awesome, dude. So this is gonna be my. I believe yes, this one is gonna be my last question. What's the next in line for you right now? I'm guessing you're working towards launching the product, right? So I don't know what's in the pipeline for the next 6 months. How do you see Swift on the next 6 months?
Yeah.
So we plan on launching quarter 1 of 2023, so anytime between January and March. We do want to implement services to actually exchange like a service, any type of freelance work, or if you want to pay your supplier in crypto, you can. And that focuses on now a business to business communication rather than business to consumer, and then obviously peer and peer.
Yeah,
And
and there are things that come before that as well. We have tooling for what we're calling a Swift pre-release, where we're going to be allowing very specific verified sellers that we are going to be vetting beforehand
yeah,
to launch Swift protocol stores in December of this year and start handling transactions and selling merch using crypto before quarter 1. So and I'm talking to the audience in general, if you are a chain or a protocol in Cosmos and you want to sell merch or any other items for crypto in the Cosmos, then you should reach out to us and we can arrange for you to use our pre-release by the end of this year.
Awesome. That sounds great. I hope you heard that, guys. Really cool. So, yeah, people, reach out to these guys. If you have something to sell, why not try it and help these guys build this
It's free.
tool?
yeah, it's
We
It's
only
free.
free
collect
also.
fees on transactions, so setting up a store with Swift Protocol is 100% free.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, Costa, Joseph, that's all for me. This conversation has been great. Even though the fluid is kind of killing me, we were able to manage it all the way through the whole podcast, and I believe the information here is going to be valuable to anyone who listens. Uh, from my side, I don't have nothing more to add. If you don't have nothing more to add, I believe the last thing will be where can people learn more about Swift Protocol?
Look us up
Right
on
now
Twitter.
on our Twitter, yeah, Swift
Yeah.
Protocol.
All right. Swift Protocol on Twitter, easy peasy. You heard it, guys. And with that, just 1 second. Where is the button? It's here. All right. And with that, we are finishing this up. This was this episode of the Staking podcast with these guys from Swift Protocol. It was really cool. I will watching out your development really closely, and let's see how it pans out. I believe this application will bring lots of value to the ecosystem if successful. So I'm rooting for you guys. All right. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank you for having us.